What's all the shouting about?
Hey there, this is Hairball John, and the premise of the Hairball John Radio Show is actually quite simple. My co-host Chris and I are two 80s metalheads old enough to have personally experienced the 80s in all of its glory. Each week, we talk 80s metal, play 80s metal, and relive every experience we can possibly remember from the Decade of Decadence. The Hairball John Radio Show is a high-production, 1-hour weekly show that is delivered via the Fishnet Syndication FTP site, and the show is all barter. To get the Hairball John Radio Show on your station, contact Mike Tyler at 248-281-8473 or email him at affiliatesalesmt@aol.com. Now here's just a sample of our weekly mayhem.
It's the Hairball John Radio Show. The past is back to kick your ass. The past is back here. This is the Hairball John Radio Show.
Hi everybody, this is Rob Halford, the Mental Guard on the Hairball John Radio Show.
You know, I've done something like 400 interviews, and in all honesty, the only two that I was ever nervous about were Ronnie James Dio and Rob Halford. And I remember when I got to talk with Rob, I had asked him, what do you do in your spare time? And he said, you know, John, I'm probably very much like you. And I said, you sit around in your underwear eating Cheetos and watching Jerry Springer? And he paused and he went, actually, John, I'm nothing like you.
It's purgatory. Priest. The past is back to kick your ass.
This is Rob Halford, the Mental Guard from Judas Priest, and you're listening to Purgatory Priest.
Only on the Hairball John Radio Show.
Hey, this is Yngwie Malmsteen, and you're listening to Hairball John's Radio Show, where the past is back to kick your ass.
This is what happened with Yngwie. He was given my number, and he was supposed to call. He called in on my cell phone, and he's supposed to call the studio number. And so I said, can you please call back on the studio number so I can record it? Oh, yeah, no problem. So then he calls back again, and he calls on my cell phone number. And I said, can I get you to call on the studio number? Oh, yeah, that's what I thought I called. Nope, you've called on the cell phone. Okay. Again. So then he calls back. He calls on my cell phone again. And I'm like, how about I just do this? How about I call you back from the studio? He said, no, you can't have my number. And I said, but I have your number. He goes, no, nobody's supposed to have my number. I said, Yngwie, it shows up on my phone. Your number is, and I read it back to him. And he said, how did you get that? You called me.
This isn't 1942.
And it's on my phone. He said, my manager told me that nobody would have my number. Like, then you should consider calling from a payphone where the hookers are down on the corner.
It's the Hairball John Radio Show.
Got a nice ring to it, hadn't it? Be a good title for a radio program.
The past is back to kick your ass.
You are an animal.
HairballJohn.com.
How you doing out there? This is CJ Snare from Firehouse, and you're listening to the Hairball John Radio Show. The past is back to kick your ass.
I've seen CJ Snare just through video recently, and he's done a great job. They're on their 30-year anniversary tour.
Yeah, they're a lot better band than...
They're a really good band live.
And I struggle with this song because it was such a big radio thing, but the more you listen to it, you're like, you know, it's really like a perfectly crafted rock song.
Every song that they've done could be for some type of product.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, Bye Bye Baby Goodbye, then you've got some type of divorce lawyer. They have Love of a Lifetime, which why De Beers Diamonds have not jumped on that. I have no idea why. That would be a great song for them.
It's the Hairball John Radio Show. The past is back to kick your ass.
I know you think it's kind of crazy, but I banged my head on the bar.
HairballJohn.com.
Hey, this is Rachel Bowen from Skid Row, and you're listening to the Hairball John Radio Show, and the past is back to kick your ass.
We are doing original lineup wish list, which was put out there on Facebook and other forms of social media. Skid Row was one of the ones that was mentioned quite a bit of people would like to see the original lineup again.
Yeah.
Bill Latte, he was the one that suggested Skid Row. Would that be on your list?
That would totally be on my list, and I've never seen them. The big thing about that is they would actually be good. The band is good, and Sebastian Bach is still singing real well.
They would be good, and they are one of the few bands, really, that is on the list that has all surviving members when I start looking through this list. So this is another one of those things where I was super fortunate about where I lived. I saw Skid Row 5 times in 4 years. Saw them twice with Bon Jovi. They came back through, I think they even came through a 3rd time. That Bon Jovi tour lasted forever.
Yep.
And then I saw them with Aerosmith in 90, Guns N' Roses in 91, and with Pantera in 92. Those were good shows, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't a dog of a show that they were a part of.
Yeah.
I think they were all at the Cow Palace in San Francisco, which is the place that Nikki Sixx, when I interviewed him, he said, it always smelled like livestock in there. Well, yeah, because they did 4-H shows majority of the time. That's why it's called the Cow Palace, Nikki.
HairballJohn.com. The past is back to kick your ass.
Sometimes I'm walking with my daughter, I'm talking to my daughter, I'm looking at her, and I just stare at her, and I realize my only job in life is to keep her off the pole.
It's time for Hairball John. The pole position pick of the week.
Hey, all you rockers, this is Dave Menichetti from Y&T. You're listening to Hairball John. You know, in rock we trust, but with Hairball, we rock.
So on Instagram and Facebook, we took a ton of suggestions and a bunch of comments as far as what is your summer song. You know, there were a couple that didn't necessarily fall within the realm of the show. Cletus Jones, which I can't even believe that would be a real name, but okay. Cletus, he says, Hot Girls in Love.
From Loverboy?
That's exactly what it is. It took me a second to realize that it was Loverboy. And I went, how do I respond to this? Because Cletus sounds like he could be a big son of a bitch. And I don't know how close he lives to here.
I saw the Instagram thing, the couple songs that was before that. It was Summertime Girls. Is there a huge difference between Summertime Girls and Hot Girls in Love? They're practically the same song.
What the hell?
Is that not the truth?
So you are going, Y&T and Loverboy are basically the same band.
Well, one's a lot.
Yep. You can keep talking, but I just cut your mic, you stinking bastard. I'm going to bring you back on. You have to take it back. Recant.
Just because you can't...
Nope. Gone. Your mic's gone again.
The truth is who do I like better? Of course I like Y&T a lot better than I like Loverboy, but Y&T's biggest song was very Loverboy-ish.
Nope. He's gone again. No mic for Chris.
Well, I surely hope you don't end up playing Summertime Girls then, because, I mean, it's practically a Loverboy
song. All right, we're moving on. Oh, my goodness, you're such a stupid ass.
It's the Hairball John Radio Show.
I greatly appreciate you listening to this sample of the Hairball John Radio Show and for considering us for your station. It's important to me that you know I have a very strong social media presence and I am very interactive with your listeners. I also take great care of my affiliates. I will be tagging your station on all social media posts, during the show shoutouts, and providing whatever marketing materials that you may need to help promote the show. I am confident that by now you see the value in adding the Hairball John Radio Show to your station, and you can do so by contacting Mike Tyler at 214-281-8473 or by email at affiliatesalesmt@aol.com. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to rocking with you real soon.
The Hairball John Radio Show is a trademark production of Hairball Creations. It is poorly written and produced by Hairball John and recorded live wherever the drinks are free and the chicks are not.
That's a good idea.
All aspects of the Hairball John Radio Show are copyrighted and cannot be used without written permission. Tune in next time for further proof that the past is back to kick your ass. All promos are produced by me, the voice guy. And I get paid big bucks every time I say Hairball John. Check this out, Hairball John. Hairball John. I could do this forever. Tune in next time while I keep feeding his ego and he keeps feeding my Lamborghini. Hairball John. Hairball John. Hairball John.
Thanks for stopping by.